Good morning, Antonio. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing good. Thanks. How are you? Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Doing good. How are you doing?
Doing good. It's a great Monday.
Yes, it is.
Good morning, Brant. Hope you're having a good day.
Good morning. Yeah, beautiful day here in Kansas.
Awesome. We've got uh we've got two franchisees here today for the corporate training. Um, so pretty excited about that. Just looks like we're gonna be getting some more stores open here pretty soon. Um, so it's exciting news for the system.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Also, I wanted to let you guys know, I mean, obviously we have a couple minutes before we start, but and this is something I'm gonna let everybody know, but if you guys want to reach out to me on a one-on-one basis for stuff that you guys are having issues with, or maybe just, things that you guys want to talk about, I want you guys to know that I want you to feel free to do that, either via Slack or, however you want to. Usually I don't get into the system until you guys get into close to opening, but obviously I've been with the system almost since the beginning. Costa had started franchising only 2 months before I joined. So, if there's anything that you guys, want to talk about or anything like that, I want you guys to be able to reach out to me for that.
Sounds good. Thanks.
I appreciate it. Yep, we'll do.
Morning, Brandon. How you doing today?
Morning. Doing pretty good. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's a good
Good.
week. Taking vacation this week, at the end of the week on Friday. My birthday's on Saturday, so much needed for sure.
Oh yeah. Happy early birthday.
Hey man, I appreciate it. Morning, iPhone. Not sure who that is, but good morning. So it's 11. I'm gonna give it about 5 more minutes. We usually have some people start rolling in around 11:03, 11:04. So I'll wait until 11:05, and we'll get started.
Hey, Brandon, it's Lance Waller in Nashville. That was the iPhone. Sorry, it took me a minute to get unmuted there.
Oh no, it's fine, brother. How are you doing today?
Doing well, doing well.
Good. How's Nashville?
A nice day, sunny, 60,
Oh, okay.
pretty nice.
Yeah, we're sunny and 52. It was raining all weekend here this last weekend. You guys catch the game at all yesterday? We live so close to Philly. Everybody thinks that we're Philly fans, but we're not.
Yes, it was a great game.
Yeah, it was.
I'm a Cowboy fan, so I'm glad Philly lost.
Yeah, so I'm a Steelers fan and I'm glad the Philly lost. It was close game though. It was close, man. That was a everybody played their heart out for that one.
It was a good Super Bowl, yeah.
It was. Morning, Caesar.
Hey, Antonio, this is Lance in Nashville. Where are you located?
I'm in the Austin area.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, Leander.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm a Cowboys fan too, but anyway, I was just curious.
Oh yeah, I'm originally from the Fort Worth,
Gotcha.
Dallas area. Yeah.
Oh,
There's nothing like those Philly fans.
you know what's funny? You guys want to hear something funny? So there was a news report that went out that like 8 a.m. yesterday morning, they had the town's crews greasing up the street poles so people weren't climbing them if they won.
Can't believe that.
You know. Hey, good morning, Gene.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Good. All right. So it's 11:04. Give it a couple more seconds for people to join in. It doesn't look like we have anybody that's open right now in the call. So I'm just gonna go over things that I would normally go over for the ops call, and then I can take some questions at the end, obviously. If they're operations related, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of construction or real estate on this call, just to, stay on I'll stay on topic of operations. So if you guys have any operations calls or questions rather, I can definitely answer those for you. As I said before, when Antonio and Brent were on, if you guys want to reach out to me personally, you guys are more than welcome to do that with any other questions that you guys have, be it real estate, be it construction or anything like that. I want you guys to know that I am here as a resource for that as well. I do oversee Aaron and Cody, but you know, I can also have those one-on-ones with you guys and answer some questions for you as well if you need to. I'm gonna get started now. It's 11:05. Good morning, happy Monday. I hope everybody had a great weekend and you guys had some much needed rest. The first thing that I really wanted to talk about operations wise was now that we're in February going into March. March is more so our ramp up period going into spring and into the summer. So we want to create almost like a seasonal checklist to make sure that our businesses are ready for the upcoming push of customers that we're going to be taking on. In our industry, historically, December, January, and February have been our slowest months out of the entire year. That's just what this industry is. If it's cold outside, people don't want to drive or go out or any extra. I know when I leave work and it's 20 degrees outside, I take that extra time to think of, man, do I really want to go to Walmart today, or do I really want to do this today? Do I really want to drive here today? And if that, if I'm thinking that in the industry, most people are thinking that as a consumer. And that's just going to lead to people driving less, right? So driving less converts into not bringing their cars in because they're not ready for an oil change yet. So going into March, it starts to get warmer, starts to get nicer. Some of us are already seeing those 60-degree weather. Mesa is starting to see 70s and 80s. Ryan's not on here right now, but I've been looking at the weather because, weather does affect our business as well. And just being able to know what you're going to need in the next couple of weeks or the next coming months, so you can at least get ready for it, right? So during the wintertime, a two-bay shop for us, we can run with 3 people if we're doing 40 cars, a day, like average 40 cars. So our Harrisburg store, our Dillsburg store, our Chambersburg store, we're doing those numbers. So I can run 2 full-time guys and a part-time guy for those stores. And because they're established, right? But now that we're running into the warmer months, I mean, there's a possibility Harrisburg can see 50, maybe 60 car days on the weekends, and we're going to want to staff accordingly. So that means that I'll ramp up into 3 full-time guys and a part-time guy. And that part-time guy that I kept on during the winter, I'll give him the full-time hours if he wants them, and I'll hire another part-time guy. So that's what I did this weekend. And this morning was I went through and finalized a bunch of paperwork for new hires. We are bringing on more staff now as we are going to ramp up. If you're bringing on people that haven't worked for you before, like maybe, you guys in the colder climates, you guys are only going to run 2 people during the winter and maybe a part-time guy for that 2-bay. And then, like I said, that third person you turn into a full-time guy and you hire somebody that's never worked with you before. If you get them in at the middle to end of February, that should give them enough time to get acclimated with the staff, to get acclimated with the store and our policies and how we handle things. That way, when March, April, May comes, they'll really be ready for the June, July, and August. June, July, and August, it's hot. People are going out. People are having fun. It's the summertime. Kids are out of school, so people are running around a lot more. So that's really going to be our ramp up time. And we're super excited to see what 23 brings us for the summertime. Not only that, but this checklist, the first thing that I think about is making sure that we have the staff. The second thing that I think about is making sure that we have the inventory, right? The inventory is going to be a pivotal point of your business. If you don't have the inventory, you can't do the vehicles. So making sure that we are ordering, maybe during the winter times, you guys are ordering, just a half of what you usually would. So instead of ordering 4 cases of 2222s, you're only ordering 2. Well, now it's starting to think, all right, let's get with my manager. Let's make sure that he understands what's going on for the summer. And do, let's say a quarterly meeting of this is what we're going to expect in the springtime. This is what we're going to expect in the summertime. And then this is what we're going to expect in the fall time. So you guys, your overhead isn't fluctuating too much. You're understanding what your margins are going to be. You're understanding what your inventory is going to be, and your staffing. So those are really the big key things that we're going to want to make sure that we have a grasp on going into whatever season we're going into. Now, some of you aren't going to have to worry about that, right? So if you live in a climate like Tampa, it's usually pretty nice all year round. Ryan, and I know Ryan's not here, but before we've talked to Ryan about during the winter time, that's when all the snowbirds come into Mesa, right? That's a huge retirement community, and people come there from Montana and in the western states for the winter time. So his is actually going to be a little bit of an opposite. Obviously, the summertime, it's hot there. People that live there are still going to need oil changes, but the influx of people that are going to be there during the summertime, or the wintertime rather, are going to go away. So how do we plan for that? So everybody's going to be in charge of obviously planning for their own store and their own market, but understanding what you're going to need and what your needs are going to be is going to be something that you're going to have to take a hold of and make sure that your manager understands as well. We say this all the time in Discovery Day, and I say it in training before. Having a manager at your shop, if you're going to be a semi-absentee or an absentee owner that understands the business, that understands what your needs are, he's going to have to pretty much fall step in step into what you're thinking as well. And I've seen it before where managers have great ideas as far as, we have a bunch of holidays in this country. And that's something else that we can think about too. Not only about what our staffing needs are going to be as the warm weather comes and what our inventory is going to be, what holidays are coming up, what is going to be something that drives that customer into your store, and what can we do to market that, right? So St. Patrick's Day is coming up, Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Let's see, we got a bunch of different other stuff. We have President's Day coming up. Not that you need to use those holidays, but they're there if you do want to come up with something. So, what month are we in? What are we going into? And what's around the corner that we can start planning for ahead? Is there any charities that we can get involved with? Is there any sports that are going to be picking up in the springtime that we can sponsor or put a flag or put a banner up, sponsoring that little league team or whatever the case may be? We've seen great success with that. Costa does baseball because that's his background. But you don't have to do that if you like lacrosse or if you like football, if you like whatever. As long as it's going out into the public, it's going out into the customer base, and they see that you're being a part of the community, the ROI in that is actually really good. Especially, if you take the time to be present in that charity, or in that whatever you choose to do, aside from your regular social media and your regular marketing spend. So those are really the things that I want us to think about going into this ramp up period now, March, April, May. Second quarter of the year is a pretty substantial ramp up. Obviously, June, July, and August are the busiest times of the year for us. And then we start to see really a decline in November, December, going into January, October, November, December. And then December, January, February being our slowest months of the season. And we can counteract that with specials and all that type of stuff. So you're going to know strategically where to run your ads, when your ads work the best, so on and so forth. So you can keep your margins where they need to be. So you're going to eventually be profitable after that ramp up period. Hey, Mitch, good morning. Thanks for joining us. That's really what I wanted to talk about today, was getting ready for these ramp up periods. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, and I hit on this. So what I'm going to end up doing, guys, is every week on Mondays, we have our calls. So today is 11. Next Monday, it will be at 3:30 p.m. And there's some people that can make the 11 o'clock calls, and there's some people that can't. And there's some people that can make the 3:30 calls, and there's some people that can't. So every week I kind of want to leapfrog. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I talked about last week and then have a new thing. So next week I'll talk about what I just talked about. But this week, what I talked about last week, I want to talk about is we talked about approvals for any social media content that goes out that is not pre-approved by us. There is a approval process that needs to be followed. I want you guys to be proactive. I want you guys to be business owners. But obviously we still have brand standards that we have to follow. So if there is something that you want to put out, it has to be approved by somebody here in the office, and mainly Costa, me, and Justin. And it needs to be approved by us. Once you have that approval, then you can use it. If you end up posting things on Facebook or on your Google page or Yelp or wherever you put them, and they're not approved by us prior and they weren't pre-approved, if it becomes an issue where it's always happening, there is a compliance issue associated with that. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. We haven't had to have any conversations like that yet, but it is something that we need to maintain a brand standard. That's why we have those guidelines, and it benefits everybody, right? So if somebody in this market is posting up things that we're not approving, people might think that we're unprofessional. People might think that we're just a mom and pop shop, but that's going to hurt the entire system. So just wanted to kind of touch on that a little bit. And I'm going to open it up for questions now. So does anybody have any questions for me today?
Hey, Brandon, it's Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Going back to kind of your number of full-time employees and stuff like that, I think one of the things I think actually none of us have opened yet. I'm always looking at the performer, right? Thinking about how to model it. What realistically, how should we think about that as far as number of employees we should have as we ramp up? Because I thought, I was told like it's really kind of two full-time for two. I don't know, it's 2 to 3, but obviously it makes a significant difference at the beginning while you're ramping up. So can you talk to me a little about kind of what's the best way to think about that, maybe as a percentage of sales or just in general, maybe base percentage of number of cars?
Yeah, so anything other than under 30 cars average, you really can get away with having 2 full-time techs and a part-time tech to fill in on the busy days and days off. So the way that I run our stores is I'll have 2 full-time techs and a part-time tech. Let's say my manager will have off on Sundays and Mondays. My lead tech, my other full-time guy, will have off on Sundays and Tuesdays. And then that's when that part-time guy will work. So my part-time guy will work Monday, Tuesday. He'll be off Wednesday, Thursday. He'll work like a half day Friday just during the busy time, like maybe 12 to 6 or whatever the case may be for that store. And then he'll work Saturday. So he's working 3 days and then half a day. And those are 9-hour shifts for us. So he still gets, 35, 36 hours, but he's not full-time. You're not worrying about having to pay him any overtime. And then our full-time guys get 45 hours. So they get 40 regular and then 5 overtime. So that's up to 30 hours or 30 cars rather. I apologize. After you're hitting the 30 cars to 35 to 40 cars, depending on your flow and your days, then that's when I would probably run 3 full-time guys. Once you start hitting 50 cars and 60 cars, then I would bring in 3 full-time guys and a part-time guy.
Thanks. Is this
Cool.
anywhere written down that we can look at this, or can you send that out?
My follow-up. Yeah, if you could send that,
Yeah.
Chris, that'd be awesome.
I'll make up a scheduling chart for you guys to follow. So I'll
Thank
send it
you.
out to everybody.
Cool. That's great.
Yep.
Hey, Brandon, on that note, with my first one's of 1 bay, is there like a rule of thumb, take off 1 guy and it's the similar arrangement, or is it totally different from in your 1 bay stores?
It's a similar arrangement. The only difference would be you're not going to be adding a 4th person pretty much ever, because there's not really anything for that 4th person to do. So if you're doing a 1 bay, you would still have your 2 full-time guys and then that part-time guy for days off and busy times. And during those busy times, say, you just knock it out of the park and you're doing 35 cars. Statistically speaking, there's going to end up being times where there's cars waiting. So that 3rd guy can either be ringing people out while the top side guy's doing top side and the bottom side guy's doing bottom side, and just getting them in and out as quickly as you can. But if you're doing 40 cars, 50 cars in a 1 bay, there's really nothing for that 4th person to do. So it would really just stay the same. So 2 guys and 2 full-times and a part-time.
So when you say 2 full like that, the manager is an additional. He's not considered a full-time guy.
Oh,
You're
no, he is
talking
a full-time.
Lube.
Sorry. He is. Yeah.
So those numbers include a manager, not plus the manager. That's what you're
Correct.
saying.
That's included. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. And that way you guys can keep your labor down and make sure that your margins are still the same. I wouldn't want you to be overstaffed and then this guy's just standing there really doing nothing. I mean, he could like greet customers and stuff like that, but really if you're doing a 1 bay and you got 2 full-time guys there and that part-time guy should be able to do tires, ring people out as quickly as possible and greet them at the same time. Just to keep the flow going. And then the 2 full-time guys, the guy in the pit and the guy up top, is just banging out that service and get them out as quickly as possible.
Gotcha.
How you doing today, Mitch? I saw you jumped in. How was your weekend?
Hey, it was great. Thank you. Thanks for having this. I'm still getting used to the time changes, so I jumped on a little late. Sorry, but
Yep.
Hey, great questions on staffing. I just let you know what I'm doing now because we've been open 4.5 months now, guys, and we have a 2 bay. And we had our best day ever Saturday. So best day in net sales ever. We had 27 cars, and I had one part-time, one full-time, and me. I'm kind of the acting owner, operator, manager at this point. And it worked out really well. We had one down, one up, and I was doing greeting, computer work, window stickers, loyalty cards, all that. And for a while we had 2 in the bay and 2 behind each bay, and it was great. We had a great flow, and nobody was ever upset about time. It just worked really, really well.
Yeah, Mitch, awesome. Yeah, that's so great. And that falls in line with, with the staffing that I was talking about. Mitch, technically you would fall in under one of the full-time guys. So 2 full-time guys and a part-time guy, you can do 30 cars all day like that.
Yep.
No worries on that end. Once you start getting to the 40s and 50s, then it starts to get, at that point, it's one right after the other.
So Brandon, when does that happen? What's your schedule say for me to get 40 plus cars here?
Yeah, right. Well, I don't have a schedule for that, but you're definitely trending up. I'm gonna end up talking to you offline a little bit about the numbers and stuff, but you're doing really well. I'm really proud of you guys. Congratulations on your Saturday.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. It's
Yeah.
it's fun, man. I'm having a good time.
Good, I'm glad. I know the community loves you too. I can't, every 15, 20 minutes, like there's a comment coming through or a message or something talking about Holland, Michigan, and it's really great to see. I'm really, really happy for you guys.
I would just want to add something. This might be a topic for another time, but it's amazing. It blows my mind how terrible the service is in Holland, Michigan, from the Valvolines, from the Walmart, even Performance Plus. Like almost everybody to a person comes in here and says what an awful experience they had getting their oil changed last time. So we don't have to really try that hard to just provide a great experience for our guests.
Yeah, I mean, that's 100% the business model, right? So we wanted to have people, come in, experience the service, and as soon as they experience that service, they're gonna, move away from whoever they were doing before. So that's why this business model is scalable. It is, doable, because everybody, if they're going to Take 5, they're going to Jiffy Lube or Valvoline, they're so established that they don't have to try. They just like, oh, we'll have cars come in. For us, it's really about that experience. And Mitch, you do a great job with that, obviously. So, but that's a great testimony to the business model and to the brand, and people come in and experience what we have to offer, and they're going to choose us time and time again. So. All right, well, if that's it, again, just want to let everybody know. So the next week's call is going to be at 3:30 p.m. on Monday. So today's at 11. Next week will be 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you can make it, we'd love to have you. We're going to be talking about some cool stuff that we can do in the springtime, and how we can, help the ramp up period. As I said before, if you guys have any questions that you want to reach out to me personally, please feel free to message me on Slack. If you're not on Slack, please get on Slack. It is the best way for us to communicate. Emails, I get, 1,000 emails a day, and I'm not even exaggerating. I get a lot of emails. So there's possibility it might take me a little while to get to you. But if you message me on Slack, it pops up just as an instant message, and I can read that as well. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you next week.
Awesome. Thanks. You have a good one.
Of course, you too. Bye, everybody.
But